All right, we are here with another interview for the 2020 UMAC Scholar-Athlete Leadership Award. We're really excited to have with us from the University of Northwestern, Talia Sherry. She is a basketball and lacrosse student athlete. So we're going to learn a little bit about her today, but we're really excited to recognize her as one of our 2 female award winners this year, which is really exciting. Just a little bit about the award. So this honor is given out every year. It's our top UMAC award. It takes into account achievement in athletics, academics, leadership, and service with a focus on academics and service. It's selected by the faculty athletics representatives each year. And there's 1 male and 1 female nominee from every institution. So Talia is one of a large group of senior student athletes who were eligible for this honor. So it's a big award, and we're glad to have her here with us. A little bit about her before we start asking her some questions. She's actually finishing her master's degree in organizational leadership. She wants to pursue a career in college coaching, so we'll ask her a little bit about that here in our interview. But her undergraduate degree is in biology. She finished that in 3 years while also playing basketball and lacrosse. She was an outstanding student. She was Dean's List student, academic all-conference for basketball. She is a talented lacrosse player. She was a part of the 2nd ever team for lacrosse at Northwestern, and she holds all the major career records for scoring points, assists, and goals. So we are in very elite lacrosse company with her today. She also has a background in coaching already. She coaches at Eastview High School, and she has done a lot of service projects during her time at Northwestern. She was involved with volunteering at the Minnesota Zoo and other wildlife centers. She's done numerous missions trips. She's been involved in different veterinary offices. She has run 11 marathons, which she may be able to tell us a little bit more about. And then a fun fact, which we'll start off by asking her a little bit more about. She started a business when she was 13 selling plants to help raise money for her missions trips. So Talia, thanks for being here with us today. Congratulations on your award. Really look forward to talking with you. But can you maybe start off and tell us a little bit more about this plant business and kind of how that got started and what you still do with that money when you
Sure. So when I was 13, I wanted to go on a missions trip to El Salvador, and I needed to raise money to do so. And my dad had this idea that we could take some of the hostas in our yard and split them and pot them and then sell them. And so I did that for the first time back in 2012, and I had probably like 200 pots or something, and my business has grown every year since. I really liked doing it, so I've done it every year, and I now have typically like 2,000 pots a year that I sell, and I raise a good amount of money doing that now, and it's my biggest source of income every year, so I really like doing that.
That's awesome. So do you still use that money solely for missions trips, or are there other things that you put that money toward?
I've used that money to pay for every missions trip that I've gone on, and now I have a little bit extra, so it's helped with college.
That's awesome. That is very creative and really a unique way to find funding. So congratulations. That's impressive in itself. But we're going to talk a little bit more about the other impressive things that you've done. So I talked a little bit about the award, and this is, goes beyond just athletics achievement, which you have quite a bit of that as well. But what does it mean to you to be selected for an honor among all of the athletes in the UMAC for the things that you've done in addition to your athletics experience?
It really meant a lot to me to even be considered for this award. I have loved playing sports at Northwestern and poured my whole self into them over the last 4 years. It's been the best part of my life. So to get recognized by not only the people at Northwestern, but the whole conference was really a big honor.
Awesome. And you talked about you've had the opportunity to play 2 sports, lacrosse, which is not in the UMAC, but we're familiar with it through Northwestern, but also basketball. talk a little bit about how you were able to manage playing two sports as well as finishing school early, having your own business, running all these marathons. How did you learn to balance everything that you were able to do?
Um, I think because of how much I love basketball and lacrosse, those never felt like things I had to do. They were always things I wanted to do, and they were kind of like my relaxing point of the day, not physically, but like mentally and everything. So I don't know. I didn't find it that hard to go to class and then do some homework, go to practice, maybe finish up some homework. Just felt part of a normal routine. And, once one sport ended, the other sport started. The overlap was fun because you have morning practice and night practice. I just loved it, being able to do two sports. It's like just extra friends.
Yeah, that's definitely a benefit of being in a lot of things is being a part of different groups. What would you say along those lines are some of the other valuable things you learned from being a student athlete that you think are going to be helpful for you moving forward?
Yeah, I learned a lot about building relationships with people through playing at Northwestern, having so many different teammates and learning to work with people of all different personalities. I felt served a lot by the leadership at Northwestern and on my teams, my older teammates and my coaches. I felt like I was served a lot, and I've learned that lesson of how to serve other people, and I think that's something I'll take with me. And also, I've taught myself what I'm capable of when I set my mind to something and really believe in something and want something badly. I've shown myself how hard I'm willing to work for something, and I think that's also something I'll take with me is like just an even greater work ethic.
I think those are important lessons, especially for someone who wants to get into coaching. And you had mentioned earlier that that kind of inspired your path for your master's program. So maybe tell us a little bit about your involvement in coaching as a student athlete, and kind of what has pushed you in that direction for your career.
Yeah. When I initially started going to Northwestern, my goal was to become a vet. That's why I was a bio undergrad and all of that. But throughout over the years, playing sports at Northwestern, I saw how my coaches, their full-time job was coaching. And I just thought that that was so cool because I've always had such a great passion for Northwestern. And I just realized how big my passion was for that and how fun it would be to coach full-time. So I started talking to my coaches and athletic director and stuff and started moving that direction because that seemed like something I was made to do. And so I started coaching at lacrosse at Eastview, and I coach a club team called the Minnesota Loons. And I love those opportunities. I coach at the high school I went to, so getting to go back and give back a little bit and all of that is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's really impressive that you were inspired by your coaches. I kind of think that's always something that people who work in athletics want to do. And I think it's always really great when young women especially want to coach, just because there's not enough women out there in college athletics who are coaching. So that is really cool that your athletics experience is really going to take you forward to the next step. So maybe just moving away from athletics a little bit, let's talk a little bit about your academic experience at Northwestern. Maybe some of the things that kind of stuck out for you. Maybe talk a little bit about why you chose Northwestern and kind of how that helped you along your path as well.
Yeah, I chose Northwestern because I knew that I wanted to stay close to home when I went to college. I only live about 30 minutes away from Northwestern. I really have loved my church my whole life, and I wanted to keep going there. And I knew I wanted to go to a Christian school, so my options were kind of limited anyways. What drew me to Northwestern was the varsity lacrosse team. That sounded like a really good experience. And then getting basketball out of that too was all really amazing. And Northwestern offered a biology degree with a pre-vet track, and that was my focus when I came in. And I loved my bio major. Like I wouldn't trade that. I learned so much, and I think a lot of those things will just be valuable information going forward. I had really amazing professors as well. So I really liked school. It was kind of hard sometimes, but I very much enjoyed my academic experience at Northwestern.
That's good. I think a lot of people do the athletics piece because that's their passion, and then you get through school. But it's clear that you have a passion for academics too, considering you're already going to be done with 2 degrees in 4 years. It's extremely impressive. So Kind of staying in the Northwestern area, you've been involved in a lot of service opportunities, through your church, through serving your lacrosse teams at your high school. But maybe what are some service projects you did through Northwestern that you really enjoyed, and kind of what you appreciate about those experiences?
Yeah, every year we have prayer and service day in the spring, which is super fun. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I've always done those with the athletic department. We usually go to feed my starving children or have them come to us. That's been fun. Probably my favorite service opportunity with Northwestern was this last summer when basketball team went on a missions trip to the Dominican Republic. That was a really amazing experience. Anytime that you like travel and see different parts of the world, it really broadens your perspective. And I know for me, it always helps me reprioritize and put my perspective back in place. So that was so fun because we got to play basketball too, play against the Dominican national team and all that fun stuff. So that was definitely a memorable experience I will always treasure.
Yeah, I think that anytime you can have experiences outside of, just yourself when you're in college, I think it's hard to be focused on other people, but I think you've done a really good job of that. So, one kind of last question to wrap up. What would you say is like your biggest, you feel is like the biggest area you've grown as a person because of Northwestern?
Wow. I've grown in my ability to focus on other people and love on other people. It's very easy to think about what the people we have relationships with do for us. But when I first got to Northwestern as a freshman, I had a lacrosse captain that asked me to go to lunch with her, and she just asked me a bunch of questions, just got to know me, just poured into me right away, and made it clear that she loved me and valued me, and that the team was happy that I chose to come to Northwestern, and all of that. And that experience really changed my life, and I've done that with every teammate I've had since, is being really intentional about getting to know them. So I think I've grown a lot in my ability to connect one-on-one with people and invest and be intentional with them. And I'm really thankful that I had people that did that for me, because it definitely changed the way that I thought about myself and now how I live my whole life.
Yeah, I think that's a really important characteristic of a future coach is the ability to invest in people. So I think you've definitely chosen a path that I think you'll be very successful in. So thank you for sharing a little bit more about you. I think people will be able to read all of the impressive things that you've done, but I also think it's just nice to hear from people about their experiences, and clearly Northwestern has had an impact on you. So really appreciate you being here with us. Wish you the best of luck in finishing your master's program and pursuing coaching opportunities in the future.
Thank you.